That was not valid urine. You understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
June 2nd, submitted a legitimate screen that tested positive for amphetamine and methamphetamine. You understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Novotny.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd like to waive the probable cause and final hearings and admit to the violation.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What's your plea to these allegations?
I'm guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. So this is the third time you've done this in a very condensed time frame. Why do you do this?
I believe I need help.
I believe you need help too. That's why I put you on probation and sent you to treatment.
And then I went and seen the mental health, wellness health person. They put me out like 2 months out from seeing a psychiatrist. It's a little long, I think, in my opinion, but it's hard to...
Is that behavioral wellness group?
I went and seen him, yes, and then...
Where's that located?
In Mentor.
Where at in Mentor?
Right on Mentor Avenue, I believe.
Who did you see there?
The hearing moves unusually fast because the legal fight is already over before it begins. By admitting the violations immediately, the defendant removes any dispute about the facts and shifts the entire courtroom toward one question: whether he still deserves another opportunity.
John, it starts with an F, I'm not too sure how to say his last name.
Did you inform your probation officer of that?
Yes. And I told her that the psychiatrist meeting was a month out, but it's actually 2 months. I messed up. I thought it was June 20th, but it's July 20th.
Ms. Henley?
I have in my notes that it was June 20th, but is there a possibility I got that date from...
You got it from me, but I gave you the wrong one when I went online to look up the dates. My appointments, it was July 20th.
Okay, so where do you keep getting the meth from?
Well, I found the second time I found it when I was cleaning out my room. Well, this last time. But before that, I got it from a buddy at work.
How long has he been in now this time, Cindy?
7 days.
So what are you going to do about this?
I asked for rehab, but they were talking about neocap, but I figured I was in neocap in 2021, so I figured like a rehab for bout drugs would be better than correctional thinking.
Well, your thinking is all screwed up. You seem to think that you can walk in with... Where'd you get the fake urine from?
I bought it at a store.
What store?
Papa Smokes.
Where's that?
In Mentor.
Okay. What exactly are you buying?
Synthetic urine.
What kind of urine?
Synthetic.
Synthetic urine.
Yes.
Is that where you got it the first 2 times?
Yes.
It didn't work the first 2 times?
No.
Then why did you think it was going to work the third time?
I didn't plan on using it first. The last time I was coming in to talk to her, and then she just sprung it on me real quick, so I used it instead of talking to her first.
The third time you used it?
Yeah.
You didn't know you were going to get tested?
Not at the beginning. She usually tests me
You
at
see,
the
your
end.
thinking is all screwed up. If you used it once, it didn't work. You used it a second time, it didn't work. And now you use it a third time, it didn't work. Your thinking is all screwed up. Because you thought it was going to work, right?
I didn't want to use it the third time. I planned on talking to her first, but then she sprung it on me. And that's when I...
So you brought it just in case?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, so your thinking is all screwed up.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. You need to unscrew up your thinking. In addition to stop using drugs, you need all kinds of help. Now, you've been given an opportunity for all kinds of help, and you won't do anything about it. That's the problem.
I mean, just going to talk to a guy once a week isn't really helping, I wouldn't
Well-
say. I mean, meetings and all that kind of help, but
Okay, well, don't you need to figure out what helps? If going to talk to a guy once a week doesn't really help, then what's the point of going to talk to the guy once a week?
I mean, but it takes time to figure out what works for me. What I would say, it's gonna,
Well, in the meantime, you keep going to the, how much you pay for that crap that you bought there?
it's like urine.
Yeah,
It's like $23 or something like that.
okay. You ought to go ask for a refund, because their
Yeah.
fake shit don't work. But the problem is, it doesn't work, and you keep trying.
I keep using it, yes.
Ms. Novotny?
Your Honor, we would just ask to continue community control at this time. Ultimately, we'd ask some sort of form of treatment. I know discussions are with NeoCap. I know we're talking with Mr. Barnes about that. He just wants any form of treatment at this point in time. He knows that it's necessary to remain his sobriety. He did work at PET processors. He's been at that job since last April, from my understanding, as a maintenance man. He did inform me about his behavioral wellness, how he was getting started with them, and that how his appointment was 2 months.
This becomes a lesson about irrational thinking rather than drug addiction alone. The synthetic urine repeatedly fails, yet the defendant keeps relying on exactly the same strategy. That repetition tells the judge something more troubling than the failed drug tests themselves.
Down the line to see a psychiatrist. He does have 2 children, and from my understanding, Your Honor, he has also been up to date on his restitution payments in his case as well.
So you went to this, what were you doing besides this behavioral wellness group?
They wanted me to do 3 meetings, AA meetings a week. But I didn't start them because I just found out that Friday before. But he said I can also do NA meetings, which I was trying to figure out about them too, because I have never been to them before. He said they're harder to get to than AA meetings though. They're harder to find.
All right, I'm going to keep you on community control. You're going to serve 42 days with credit for 7. The last 30 days you'll be in the jail treatment program. Complete it and follow the recommendations. Then you're going to complete the NeoCap program and follow those recommendations. And you're going to then comply with all the other terms that I gave you back on December 10 of last year. In addition to May 19th of this year, you to comply with those conditions. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're running out of time here. So you either decide you're going to do something about your meth problem, or you're going to decide you don't want to do something about your meth problem. Understand that?
Yes, I do.
Anything else, Ms. Novotny?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Henley?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Novotny?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd like to consider continuing Mr. Burns on community control. From my understanding, Your Honor, since he's been on probation, he completed Met Talbot. He was doing an IOP with Catholic Charities. He was also living with his mother at the time, who he was caregiving for her. I believe she's diagnosed with cancer. I know there is something pending regarding that, and the court is aware as well that there's some cases pending, and he's in probation in other jurisdictions. From my understanding, Your Honor, he does have 100 days of total credit on this matter, But Your Honor, we're just asking for any type of leniency and to continue community control. Thank you.
Mr. Burns, what do you want to tell me?
Thank you, Your Honor. I take full responsibility for not reporting. As Ms.
Why didn't you report?
As Ms. Novotny alluded to, I am the sole caregiver for my mother, and she's been going through radiation, the tattooing, and all the follow aftercare, and I am the only one that was able to take her to her appointment. Unfortunately, we don't have a vehicle, so I had to be present for all the lifts there and back. As my mother's older, she doesn't know how to operate newer cell phones, so I had to be there with that.
So naturally, you called your probation officer and said, I can't be there because of everything you just told me.
Unfortunately, I used poor judgment.
Okay. Why not?
I was overwhelmed with everything that was going on. I also had issues going on with my daughter, who was in a mental hospital for a brief time, then was ruled as an unruly child by her mother. She also was found to be pregnant at only 14, so I had a lot going on there. I was briefly in Metro's burn unit with frostbite on my hands. That's originally why I missed my original report date, which I did let my probation officer know that was what happened. My hands were completely wrapped. I couldn't even do a belt or any type of buttons, so to get on a bus to go down there was a little bit harder, and I did let him know that was going on at the time.
Okay. You've been on probation.
The final probation hearing introduces a very different defense strategy. Instead of focusing primarily on addiction, the conversation shifts toward overwhelming family obligations and personal hardship.
Couple dozen times, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Violated many of those times, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Stayed on probation all of those times, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you figured you could do the same thing now?
Ultimately, this time was a little different. I had completed IOP, I was staying sober, and I was trying to be there for my mother. I knew I couldn't mess up because she would have nobody else. Like I said, I used poor judgment and didn't report.
Okay. Yeah, how do I know you weren't out there using again? I don't, because you didn't report.
If you look at my history, unfortunately, it is pretty poor. You'll notice I do tend to catch a lot of cases. If I was out there getting high, I would have undoubtedly been arrested and caught a charge.
What's pending in Parma now?
In Parma, those are charges from, I believe, 3 years ago. I believe it was failure to comply, drug paraphernalia, obstruction, and then one other. It's like two minor misdemeanors and 2 M1s.
What else is pending?
That should be it.
Mr. Berry, what's pending right now?
They gave me probation.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Your Honor, he's got 3 cases in Cuyahoga County that he's currently on probation. They have an active warrant on him for that. He's got a North Olmsted case that is pending, and then this Parma case is actually out of Old Brooklyn, and it's out of Parma Municipal Court, so they're wrapping that up as well.
And what's in North Olmsted?
I didn't catch that. I just know that he has a warrant out of North Olmsted.
Okay. So you don't like to show up? Otherwise, you wouldn't have these warrants out there, and you wouldn't be sitting here now.
It's typically when I'm intoxicated and I'm out there on a relapse.
You won't stop. You just won't stop doing the same thing. Okay. Now you tell me you haven't used, but you still don't show up. Okay? So you use and you don't show up.
In the past, yes.
In the present, because you're sitting here for not showing up.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I was trying to do my best to take care of my mother.
You cannot be on probation if you refuse to show up. It's impossible to complete probation if you don't show up.
I understand, Your Honor. And I was reporting before I just got overwhelmed.
Okay. Well, usually a phone call takes care of that.
Yeah, I know.
Anything else you want to tell me?
I just hoped for another chance to be able to take care of my mother is all.
Well, that's on you.
I know.
It's not on me, it's not on her, it's not on him, it's not on Cuyahoga County, it's on you.
I know, and I accept full responsibility for that.
Well, accepting, I don't know what that means in this context. I don't know what accepting responsibility means. Accepting responsibility really means complying with the privilege that you had to be put on probation. That's accepting responsibility, complying. And you've demonstrated throughout your life, the last 10 years, 8-10 years, you don't do that. And you won't do that. And you didn't do that. So you have abandoned the purposes of community control, so I'm going to find you are not no longer amenable to community control. I'm going to sentence you to 6 months in prison with credit for 100 days and the costs. Anything else, Ms. Novotny?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Barry?
No, Your Honor.
All rise. You have 100 days credit. Okay. You have 6 months, 100 days credit. So you have...
The discussion reaches its most important turning point when responsibility is redefined. The defendant believes accepting blame demonstrates accountability. The judge applies a much stricter standard. In the court's view, responsibility is measured by consistent compliance before problems become violations, not by sincere apologies afterward. That difference explains why the conversation grows increasingly direct. A phone call, a report, or a simple update could have protected the probation relationship long before the hearing became necessary. Instead, silence created uncertainty, and uncertainty destroyed trust. Once judicial confidence disappears, every explanation loses persuasive value. Probation survives through reliability, not good intentions. The court is ultimately evaluating conduct, because behavior is far more dependable than promises made under pressure. The prison sentence reflects the collapse of confidence rather than the punishment of a single missed report. By concluding that community control has failed its purpose, the judge signals that rehabilitation outside prison no longer appears realistic under the current circumstances. That decision carries broader significance than the 6-month sentence itself. It represents the moment where repeated opportunities stop being viewed as investments and start being viewed as ineffective. Even after giving credit for time already served, the court leaves a lasting message for anyone on probation. Community control is treated as a privilege built on trust, communication, and consistent effort. Once those foundations repeatedly disappear, the legal system shifts its priority from offering more chances to protecting the integrity of its own orders.